Bonus. Made up movies, bonus features. Oh yeah. Bonus. Bonus. Made up movies, bonus features. Oh yeah. Bonus. Bonus. Made up movies, bonus features. Oh yeah. Bonus. Bonus. Made up movies, bonus features. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies Bonus Features. I'm your host, Mike Kohler. Here at the Mammoth Video. Matt sort of wandered off because it's a giant place where I'm trying to find a movie here in this section of the Mammoth Video, which is just like an open thoroughfare at this point. I don't know where he is.
Kohler, hey.
Matt, hey. Trying to find a movie over here.
Okay, I got one, but before we get into that,
Yeah.
I have something you need to see. Here, follow me over here. Okay. This is crazy, but they have holograms, like working holograms.
What? I love this place so much.
I know, it's incredible, right? And it's like they have like, basically it's like Avena in Mass Effect. It shows you around the mall. It's like, instead of having just a mall map, it's like this hologram that teaches you about, where you are and where you should go.
It says you are here instead of just pointing to a dot on a map.
Yeah. It'll say out loud, you are here. And then you're like, well, I can't see anything. That's the whole point of that on the map. So it's not helpful.
So it's worse than a map is what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's not what's crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, here it is. It's over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. Hello. It's pretty cool. It's pretty big and blue.
Welcome to Mammoth Video.
It reminds you of anybody?
I guess.
Please select a direction. I will show you.
It's a rather slow talking robotic voice. I don't.
Right.
What am I being reminded of? I don't. I can't put my finger on it.
Okay. Well, maybe this will seal the deal a little bit more. Mr. Hologram, how do you feel about Legos and candy?
What?
I enjoy Legos and candy. Both are purchasable at the Lego store.
Oh, there's a Lego store here?
You.
Yeah, this thing is a dead ringer for you, Kohler. I mean, look at it.
What?
You sounds like you. You both have interests in the same thing.
It sounds like me. What do you mean? It sounds like me? It's a robot voice that sounds a little like. I don't want to be rude. It sounds a little slow. He sounds like a bit of a slow head.
I do not appreciate that.
Oh, sorry.
Have you noticed that we have very similar voices and facial features?
No.
Wow.
How does it?
It agrees.
Are you okay? Are you agreeing with me in order to sell me products at this Mammoth Video?
I have detected the word products. Please allow me to attempt to sell you products. You look like you smell bad.
What?
Would you like me to point you towards a cologne shop?
No,
wow.
I don't
it
smell.
knows you like it knows itself.
Okay,
that's
first of all, it sort of just looks like I don't know, a generic plain face man. Why is it so mean? I don't understand. How's this going to sell products?
Does that mean if it's saying? I think it's complimenting itself by saying it looks as handsome as you. But yeah, it
doesn't look handsome. It looks like a generic. It doesn't even have
looks
long
like
hair.
A blue,
I have long hair and a beard.
translucent mannequin. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it means in terms of like facial structure and.
It does have perfect. Features. It does have perfect bone structure. Are you saying I have perfect bone structure? Because I
yes, we are both beautiful. Look at our chin bones; they are incredible.
You have more than one shin bone.
I guess. I mean, it doesn't really have any bones at all.
Yeah,
but I think
you
it's
have no
just
bones. Wait, I think it's just trying to appeal to me in order to sell me things.
You look like you could use a Hugo Boss suit to go with that odor. Discriminating cologne.
I'm going to ask it something that only you would want. Excuse me, hologram. Do you have a store that sells Bowsette figurines?
We have Do you mean the Bowsette store?
Oh man, there's a Bowsette store? I would love that. Oh shit. Oh shit, that sounds so good. Oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
Yes, I am excited too. You and
that
I
sounds like
are
you.
very similar and handsome. Buy many products.
It sounds like you now. It's just appealing to.
No, it sounds and looks like you, but it just suddenly got really good taste, like me.
All right. Can we? Is there a movie we should watch, Mr. Video Man?
I recommend watching every movie. Please give me 5,000 credits.
Okay, I guess we should.
I forgot this dimension runs on credits, and
Yes, please insert your microchip into my backside.
I don't have any money. We just sort of steal.
Alert, police! There are freeloaders here.
I thought it was fine. Everybody said it was fine.
I am not a narc. I'm cool, just like you, Michael.
I like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how to feel about him learning in real time.
Yeah, he's definitely AI. He's smart.
I'm not even sure if I used your first name in front of him, so I feel like
I don't
he's
think
really
you did.
struggling.
Just knows my name.
I would like to party with you guys.
It sounds a little bit.
Detractor?
What? It knows Detractor?
Yeah, Detractor comes here a lot. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to do. I sort of use this place as daycare for him. I mean,
that's fair. Just let him run around.
Yeah, he gets he trips up a lot of people, so it's kind of a pain
Plus,
in the
if you
ass
leave
for
him in a
them,
different
but-
dimension, you don't have to worry about him when you're in your own dimension, which is nice.
Detractor taught me how to party.
Ugh. All right.
You guys want death sticks? I got a whole stash.
This is getting a little lore heavy.
But you'll need to go into the Victoria's Secret back room and steal me some lingerie. I want to look beautiful.
You can't wear you're a hollow. You're air. You're infinite
First,
space.
steal me a mannequin frame and place it where my hologram is. Then dress me so I look like Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham.
I'm down to do this. It sounds kind of hot, to be honest. I mean, but if
we haven't been to the Victoria's Secret yet. I'm sure it's cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
You know what? Why don't we put a pin in that? And we gotta watch a movie for the pod. And I got a real doozy for us here.
Oh, you have one? You found one that wasn't?
Yeah, I found one earlier. I just sort of got distracted by this guy. We're gonna talk to you later, okay, hologram?
Alright, but every moment you're away, I will miss you. Remember the cologne. The stench lines are visible to me.
Okay.
You must see an infrared.
Yeah, he's kind of he splits the difference between helpful and a dick. So I guess
he's almost like he detracts from what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's like he's a detractor, but not as cool. He can't really.
Not as cool.
He's not.
He can't
he's not cute. Yeah, he can't.
When he said he wanted to party, I didn't. I mean, I didn't buy it.
I didn't really. He's weird. I don't like him that much, but he does. I mean, that's sort of how I feel about you. So it's sort of a mirror in that way.
Okay, rude.
All right, so I got a film for us. You're gonna love this one. It's called Hercules versus Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
So it's a classic historical movie, I guess, and it's about. Here's the premise. It says, when the stone presidents break free from their bindings, only the mighty Hercules can beat them back into submission. So
their presidents have turned sentient and evil, I guess is.
Yeah, well, I mean, just sentient, not much more evil than they really were, huh?
Whoa.
Politics. So.
Whoa. Yeah.
All right, let's get back into our soundproof chamber back here. And I'll just shut the door. And jam this cube into our helmets. So,
that was my ear.
Okay, sorry. I should do it when you're not wearing it already. But this is how we are going to do it. And into your face, like so.
Stop jamming cubes in my face.
Okay, that should do it. And yeah, let's Turn these bad boys on and flick. Oh, wow. Check out those biceps. On Teddy Roosevelt, I mean.
Yeah, he's strong. I knew he was strong. But,
he is a burly boy, as you and I often say. He's a burly boy. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
Well, that was a movie of sorts. Take this off.
Oh. What a strange reimagining of a historical thing that never happened.
Well, I mean, ancient Greece happened and America happened, so in a way, it's based perfectly off of reality.
It's your classic mashup of ancient Greek and America, which is, I mean, America is just a mashup of ancient Greece, basically.
Yeah, they never really explained. I guess just because he's a demigod, I guess Hercules lives eternally, or
yeah, he's just always alive. I mean, I thought he was like 35, but the actor playing him is like probably 35, I would say.
Yeah, and the actor playing him has sort of like poofy brown hair, and he's wearing like the little golden laurel things on his ears, and he's wearing a toga, and that's just about it.
And he's super strong, like me. He's a lot like me because he's super strong.
No, you're more like the hologram where you think you're super strong, but you actually have no body mass whatsoever.
Oh, but I have perfect bone structure, so thank you. Compliments.
Okay, fine. But it seemed like the guy playing Hercules was not wearing underwear, because there were a lot of scenes where he did the $10,000 man jump or whatever, and they
had to cut away,
yeah, he leapt into the air, and then they did a low down shot, so it looked like he was jumping above frame into the air while they played a sound effect.
It was probably a choice by the actor to not wear,
but I definitely caught some cheeks. If he wasn't wearing, I mean, this looks like a late 70s, early 80s movie, so. If he was wearing underwear, he was wearing some sort of I don't know, futuristic thong or something.
Futuristic dong revealing underwear.
This is the kind of underwear that only the blade surfers could really pull off. But yeah, I mean, I liked him. The character, the way they characterize Hercules. I'm used to, growing up with the Tate Donovan Disney Hercules, and who's sort of a sweethearted, big, beefy boy. And this one is more he's more of a boastful, overconfident Hercules.
He was more like Arnold's Hercules in that sense.
Yeah, he's a little bit more like Conan, you know?
Conan, yeah. That's right. Sorry, Conan.
They're pretty much the same.
They're the
Conan
same
uses a sword, and Hercules uses, his raw brawn. Although there was that time where he picked up a for whatever reason, it seems like one thing that happens a lot in this movie is that there are these big, Grecian or Roman columns, no matter where Hercules is, just so you can pick them up and beat whoever he's fighting with them. And it just looks like he always tilts it's like someone's about to attack him, and he always turns to the left, and there's just happens to be a big column there, and he picks it up and just starts wailing on people with it. And it also feels like the columns are very clearly inflatable.
Yeah, they have to be. Well, unless he's actually really strong.
I mean, maybe it's this dimension, so we don't know for sure. He could that could be the real Hercules for all I know. I don't know.
Also, I mean, there is a lot of columns in Washington D.C. and stuff, but where in South Dakota, where is the Mount Rushmore?
I don't know. I think in this dimension, the rules of Mount Rushmore are a little bit different.
What are you saying? Are you saying presidents can't become sentient and try to retake the White
there's
House?
25 presidents buried within the mountain. It seems like the lore seems to suggest.
Where else would they be buried, Matt? Where else would the presidents be buried not inside a mountain with their faces on it?
Well, the real Mount Rushmore is a sculpture, right? It's a carving. And this one they seem to claim is a naturally occurring.
Yeah, occurring.
As if every time, it's like the Hall of Presidents almost. Every time we have a president, it gets a tiny stone golem. Oh man, we're doing this again, and this hasn't even happened yet.
This bit.
Gets into a that's a bit preview. That's a special thing you pay for on Patreon if you're listening to this. Bit previews of bits we have recorded for main feed, but haven't performed yet because they haven't been released
so lucky.
yet.
The audience is so lucky.
The audience is so fucking lucky. It's disgusting. You get Bunker Brothers-esque characters, so it's like a throwback to his show you either did or didn't watch.
Yeah.
Listen to. You couldn't watch it because we don't have the drawing budget.
You can watch it through the power of your imagination.
That's right. It's a theater of the mind experience, much like Dungeons and Dragons, which I have right here. And that's another bit we haven't done yet, and I will roll for that.
Roll for bits we haven't done yet.
And that is a 14 plus our modifier of time travel, which is a 2, and that means we pass the skill check. So that's that. So this is all stuff you can look forward to in 2 weeks or whenever, because it's podcast and there's no ticking clock in a couple years or whenever you feel like it. So we were referencing a lot of stuff out of sequence right here, but that's a free preview of stuff that will happen in, what's that episode called? Not This Magic Moment, but which one did we just do? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. But coming soon, end of September 2022. Anyway,
are you
back
saying
to
that
this film.
Erosion doesn't happen every 4 years on Mount Rushmore and then makes a new face? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying erosion doesn't exist?
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, look, erosion is happening. Someone will call out a tourist, and a bunch of rocks will fall and like reveal Ronald Reagan's face in the thing, and everyone starts clapping. A new president has been born. It's like, was that the director's son or something? What's happening?
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, that's not
very
the line.
stilted.
That's not what he. Yeah, very stilted.
Everyone applauds, and then they have like a Lois Lane reporter standing by, being like, "Breaking news: Ronald Reagan has finally emerged from his stone cocoon."
They still have. It's almost like they still have elections and stuff. They don't decide the president based on this. It's just like
no.
Somehow...
I think it's like that when you get inaugurated, the president is born, and then at some point the gestation period probably takes like 4 to 8 years.
Yeah,
I would imagine. But should we also mention that Hercules is just there at Mount Rushmore, and he's just like reading a newspaper and smoking a cigar.
He seems to be he's like well known, but it's like he doesn't. He's like retired or something. Retired from being a strongman.
Well, people treat him as a given, and they're also surprised. They're like, "Oh, right, Hercules exists in our universe."
Yeah,
and it's like, what? Yeah. And they treat him like they're seeing Jeff Goldblum walk into a situation. They're like, "Oh shit, Hercules is here too."
Wow,
it's Jeff
cool.
Goldblum. It's like, and so it's a little, it's a little strange.
It's a little strange, but I accept it. I accept Hercules just walking around. It's fine.
Yeah, the whole movie is sort of has like a Richard Donner Superman level of special effects and corniness.
Yeah,
so
it's campy. It's fun.
It's very campy, and so it's not. It's not exactly the kind of movie that the viewer wants to take seriously on a deeper level.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's not the kind of movie a viewer would want to watch.
It's not the kind of movie you'd want to use your eyes to experience.
It's not something you'd want to enjoy with your eyes. Or
if you want to open your heart to something, though, you will find a reward that lasts 1,000 Greek eons or something.
That's what he said. That was the end, is something similar to what you just said.
Yeah, so that's the whole movie, I guess. So,
no, I mean, you're glossing over a lot. You're glossing over.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of romance scenes. I mean, like, that's the thing, is that Hercules. I mean, the movie almost within 10 minutes starts with Hercules. Well, I guess it takes about 20 minutes because the beginning is Reagan being born, and Hercules is just there, and he's But Hercules, like, often leaves the fight with Mount Rushmore to, like, recoup. So he's not, like, infinitely
He has to
strong.
go on dates and stuff. Like, he has to leave to go on dates with random randos, it seems like.
Yeah, there's a romance. And also he goes to Mount Olympus at different times, too, which he can sort of beam to. But it's not, like, of his volition. It seems like the goddess Hera, like, beams him in, and she seems to have a chip on her shoulder towards him because she's you know, his stepmom, I guess, based on
it's something about,
mythology.
like, it's like, oh, these Americans are inventing new gods, you should do something about this. And it's like,
yeah, she's really on his ass about them. She really wants, all Hercules wants is to beat the stone presidents because, well, okay, this is, I'm sort of telling this out of sequence. So, some sort of magical curse happens. We see literal magic, like golden shimmery Tinkerbell magic fly from the heavens.
It's a very practical effect.
Yeah, it's like someone is using a filter and just holding a bunch of sparkles in a wet jar and swirling it around, and then they superimpose one onto the screen. At some points, I feel like even though it was like filtered and they did some sort of like, I don't know, back projection on it or something, I could see the lid.
They overexposed the film, I think.
Yeah. I feel like I could see cigarette burns. Like they actually damaged the film in making this special effect. This I guess this sort of reminded me of Gorb the Destroyer in some ways, but it's a much better film. A much better film than Gorb, because it's more focused, and you sort of already know the lore. You don't have to, there's no aliens. I mean,
I know everything about the presidents. All 77, I want to say?
Yeah, sure. Well, no, wait. I know there's at least 42 for some reason.
There's at least 47. There's at least 9.
We find out later, this magic spell that looks like sparkles in a jar that hits Mount Rushmore and comes from the heavens. We find out it basically makes the presidents come to life, and rather than being like, you know, the thoughtful embodiments of the presidents, they're sort of like Godzilla-esque versions of them.
They're like their id. There's no they have no thought process. They're just
right.
They're the worst part of themselves, basically.
They're almost like the stereotypes of each president mixed with a Japanese kaiju who just wants to destroy cities.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And also it's like they're trying to, and they don't really have like politics necessarily. Like they're just monsters, but they are trying to like stop Reagan's presidency, sort of, because he's the president now, and they all want to be president.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. And they're all bullying Reagan because he's the new kid on the block.
Yeah. Not to paint Reagan like, I don't know if they meant to paint Reagan like like a hero, but he's sort of,
maybe. I mean,
Hercules is the good guy, but he is trying to like, I think he's just trying to protect democracy. It's not about Republican or Democrats.
What's weird is that they got the actual Nancy Reagan for this movie, but not the real Ronald, which is strange because he's an actor, right? But he's not in this
but it's
film.
like maybe when he's like he actually did become president, he put it all behind him because he had to fuck over black people and stuff. He was busy.
He had to invent AIDS. I mean, he had a busy schedule.
He had to ruin the country for the rest of time.
Would you guys leave me alone with these audition requests? I have to be getting dementia right now.
Hi, I'm trying to trickle down everything onto you.
I'm inventing Star Wars, the missile program. These are all things he said. Direct quote.
Maybe Nancy wanted to maybe she wanted to be in the spotlight for a second instead of it's always all about Ronald. I mean,
so she's there trying to argue with the she's basically encouraging the stone monument, Reagan. Yeah. It's so, as a Republican, it's so easy to get those two heroes confused. And she's constantly like, now, Ronald, you stand up for yourself. And he's like, yes, mommy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And he's constantly, he's very picked on because he's the new kid on the chipping block, I guess. I don't know.
The stone pillars.
Stone
wait a
block.
minute. So wait. She's talking to Stone Reagan, but real Reagan is actually in the White House, right? He's still
I
the
believe that's what the movie wants us to think.
Okay, I'm just making sure that's what's happening.
Right.
The president
So
does exist as not just a stone monster.
In the current... Yeah, I think the idea is that the real Reagan has sent the First Lady to talk to his stone monument because his stone monument's wussiness is making him look bad. Because the stone monument Reagan, since it's just a young and inexperienced
newborn
monster,
stone monument.
Yeah, it cries a lot. It curls up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't inspire a lot of patriotism to all the tourists. Yeah. And even though he's not pictured, we get the idea from Nancy that you're making the real president look bad. He would never curl up in a ball and cry.
And to be fair, in this dimension, or in wherever this is, the Mount Rushmore is just like behind like the Capitol building. Like the whole mountain is just behind the Capitol building.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very difficult. It's sort of like the Richard Donner movie Used Cars. Shout out to Cult Film Companion podcast. You won't hear this because they don't pay. But the distances between our national monuments and our various what do you call it? I almost said genomes, but that's not it. What's the word?
Biomes.
For, like, biomes. So it's a little hard to understand because one of the things that Hercules does is he has to fight like a bunch of different presidents in different major cities.
Right.
And so it's like he's like beating the shit out of Tom Jefferson in downtown Miami. And he's like, he fights Andrew Jackson is still trying to like is trying to march his way to Mexico so he can beat up Mexican
they're all
people.
trying to accomplish things they couldn't accomplish at life. Like wasn't Thomas Jefferson looking for the Fountain of Youth or something? Like in Miami?
Well, he was basically, that's what he claimed he was doing, but it turned out he was just trying to pick up black women.
Okay.
So
Classic.
it's kind of uncomfortable. The movie's view of, I mean, while accurate, it seems like, it's a little bit insulting. And I mean, I'm not sure why they painted him as solely being interested in picking up black women.
That was his thing.
He was, I guess.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Which
is the worst version of that.
Southerner. And when Hercules beats the snot out of him, he's just like, "This would have never happened in France. I'm going back." And then he dives into the ocean.
Dives in the ocean and
swims back to France. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. They don't show him again.
Yeah, he's gone. And then just they do during the closing Animal House montage where it shows what each of the presidents is doing now.
Yeah,
it shows him humping.
Of them. Jesus Christ, that was a long montage.
It shows him humping the Eiffel Tower, and it's like he finally found something capable of satiating his insane lust.
So horny, such a horny man.
And also it's also weird that that Hercules stops Lincoln by going out on a date with him.
That was strange. Well, because he dresses up like Bugs Bunny style as like Mary Todd. And it's like, oh, Mary Todd, I didn't know. How are you still alive? And she's like, well, through my black magic. That's how.
And you don't mean African American black magic. You mean
no? I mean her witchcraft. She practiced.
She was she was a practicing witch.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that Lincoln sees Mary Todd and he's like very formal and dignified and respectful to her. But once the disguise fails, and he reveals that he's actually Hercules, that's when Lincoln starts to get really attracted to him.
Yeah, he was even more attracted. He's like, oh, this is what I always wanted, a buff, burly man.
So he's like, well, I suppose I could stop destroying Lincoln, Nebraska. if you go out on a romantic date with me.
You did. You know, I did used to share the bed in the for warmth. That's what I claimed. That's what he said.
And Hercules is like, well, I am an ancient Greek, and shrugs and starts holding the giant stone Lincoln hand. And then they go for like a walk by a lake at sunset.
Nice. It's nice.
Yeah, that's what Lincoln says. It's like, this is really nice, just to get away for a while. You know, I spent so much time, ending slavery.
Yeah,
and Hercules is like,
he's very
I know. Yeah. You keep bringing it up.
We get it. You're a hero. And then he's like, doesn't he? He has to find John Wilkes Booth's corpse and eat it like Attack on Titan style in order to
gain his power.
Gain his power back or something.
Yeah, and then Lincoln becomes sort of like a sidekick hero because once he eats the corpse of John Wilkes Booth, he gains a giant stone handgun that he uses to shoot other presidents. And
I guess you can't make Lincoln a bad guy even in this movie, I guess.
Yeah, right. He's sort of like a gay icon vigilante, which is sort of what you want.
Gay icon Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
You better work, Queen.
Yeah, well, Lincoln keeps suggesting, he's like, maybe if I dressed up like a lady, that would help somehow.
Yeah.
And Hercules is like, I keep telling you no. It would take forever to find the materials. You're gigantic. And
You're
why
too big.
To help dress. What? We don't have to trick anyone at this point. What are you saying? Yeah. But also, we should also say that Hercules goes to a lot of bars just to drink in between fights.
Yeah.
That's where he plays pool, smokes cigarettes, and picks up ladies.
Yeah, he procrastinates on his duties very hard. He's just
I think it's just he just needs to chill and relax.
He's an everyman. He's like us. He's just like you and I. Sometimes you just gotta relax and not do anything. You want to do a podcast. You just want to relax and play a little pool with your big giant Lincoln.
But that's also where some of the movie's sense of patriotism comes from, because he keeps saying, "Thanks gods, I live in America now, where a land where full of alcohol and loose women, where I can finally achieve
he picks
my
up
dreams."
So many women at these bars, and they're like a lot. They're pretty attractive. He picks up. He's not picking up. He's not picking up fives. He's picking up some. He's picking up some tens.
Yeah, Nebraska tens.
I'm just saying, he's Hercules. 1970s Nebraska tens.
But there's one woman who he truly loves that he can't get after, which is the goddess Aphrodite, who keeps tempting him.
Smoke show.
Total smoke show. And so she keeps coming down from the heavens. It's not really explained what their relationship is outside of he just knows her from work.
Yeah, they work on Mount Olympus together. Of course he knows her.
Like, whenever he gets too far from his duty, she appears in, like, the sun. She's always, like, 40 feet away from him, no matter how far he runs.
She's a bit of a tease, that Aphrodite. That's what makes her so attractive.
She's like, Hercules, don't forget your duty. He's like, oh, Aphrodite, I've been trying to bang you for centuries. Why don't you come over here? And she's like, no, you come over here. And he's like, oh, I shall. Yeah. And he just like runs after her into the desert, and she's like always on the horizon.
She can't get close. He can't get closer.
And he's like dying of thirst in the desert, and she's like at the horizon pouting, Hercules, I thought you wanted to make love
over
to me.
Here, you're so close.
Couldn't you just take a few steps forward towards me? Now, Hercules, you know I enjoy the chase. Humph! I'm going back to Mount Olympus if you're this weak-willed.
Yeah. She's, women,
that sequence takes 45 minutes.
Yeah, this is an epic in the sense of like Ben-Hur. Like it's a long movie.
It's a 5-hour movie. It's crazy. But so basically, there's a lot of we should specify what the evil Hera's goal is. Basically, she hates both. Like you said, she hates these modern presidents who she believes.
Also, she wants to be the first woman president, which in 1970, whenever this was made, was a bit of a controversial idea. They're not
right. It wasn't like the way they present the idea of there being a female president is if someone said they were going to create a doomsday ray.
yeah. They're not excited. There's a lot of gaffes.
I will be the president.
I believe a couple ladies actually do faint hearing that.
Right, patriotic ladies.
Patriotic
ladies. Score. But yeah, she wants to be president, and she wants to destroy these old, these presidents.
Gotta destroy the old ways, you know.
Exactly.
Burn the texts.
But she also sort of likes to trick Hercules because, if I remember my Greek mythology correctly, Zeus, was kind of a rapey creep who would turn himself into swans and stuff and bang ladies. And
that guy couldn't stop banging. Jesus.
So Hercules is one of, along with Kratos, of course, is one of Zeus's many children. And so he, I guess since Hera is not Hercules' mom, but is the stepmom, and Hercules is a byproduct of an affair, sort of resents Hercules.
Yeah, it makes her a bit of a bear, but a rightful bear.
And I guess because Hercules is also vastly more popular than Hera, and is treated as a hero, whereas she's
on her fucking mountain all day. Who's going to treat her like a hero? She's up there in her ivory tower, lording over us. Hercules is down here on Earth in bars, banging tens.
much like Spider-Man, Hercules is a street level hero.
Yeah.
Who, if he's not, I mean, the way they depict him, it's like I feel like Hercules could have like a mountain of riches or something. He's a man of myth. He could have like a mansion and be treated.
Spider-Man should be rich too, and he's not. So
right? They're sort of the same. They seem like they're like working class, blue collar heroes, and it's sort of a Bruce Springsteen ish Hercules because he's always eating street meat from hot dog carts like all the time. He loves it. He's like, yeah, you want the Herc special?
The vendors know him by name. I mean, I guess he is Hercules.
Yeah, cross country. yeah, it's hard. Hey, is that Theseus? No, motherfucker, it's Hercules, you stupid
Hercules,
bitch.
I haven't seen you in a week. Last time you were...
I always get you two Greek guys who are still alive for some reason confused. I fucking hate Theseus. You bring him up against me again, I'll cut your fucking throat. Jesus.
Come on, here's a free hot dog for you.
I'll eat it, but only because of my god-level hunger, and not because of this sick burn you just foisted upon me.
You're alright, Hercules. You come back anytime.
I'll fucking kill you if you bring up Theseus.
He's a cool guy. I love this guy.
I'm not even joking. I'm fucking
he jokes around. He's a jokester,
him.
this Hercules. He's a funny guy.
And then there's that one sequence where mid-fight, Hera, you know what? I don't even know if it's the real Aphrodite.
You think it might just be Hera? Yeah.
I think it might be a Hera's illusion. Yeah. Which makes more sense, because I feel like the real Aphrodite probably would bang Hercules.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Bit of a lady of the night.
She would bang everyone except her husband Hephaestus, who is not a 10. Not a 10. He is
bit of a butterface. That guy is
kind of a butterface. Great worker of the forge. Great at forging Kratos new weapons, but in terms of bangability, a little bit odd.
A little
bit odd.
Stinky guy. Smells.
Yeah, could use some of that hologram cologne if we're trying to say. And also remember, put a pin. We gotta get that mannequin's skeleton.
You actually said you were gonna do that for him? I thought it was.
Well, I feel bad for him. He's stuck there all day, right?
I don't think he's a program. He's a computer program. He doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, but it's like that girlfriend I had on Bunker Brothers, where it's like, they're kind of alive.
Are you what?
Come on, Jack. Just
okay. All right. Now that is a deep dive.
I don't know. I think that's my most favorite episode. So I feel like I'm just saying robots got feelings too. It's like Data in Star Trek, or Or
you're quoting directly from that episode of Bunker Brothers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, listen to Bunker Brothers. That's all I'm trying to say.
Did you when he fought Teddy Roosevelt in the Grand Canyon?
That was amazing. To be honest,
yeah. Were they in the Grand Canyon? I think they shot.
Well, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of.
Also, is the Grand Canyon in New Jersey?
In this, yeah, it is, or perhaps one of the many Grand Canyons, I guess. I mean, so. I mean, it starts off with them in Jersey at the Delaware River. Because Washington is obsessed with crossing it again, and he keeps crossing it back and forth because he's stepping over it.
He's causing massive flooding, crossing it
right,
over and over.
Right, but it's not long enough for it to be much of a challenge for him, and so he's like, "Look, I'm doing it again and again.
Look how many times the British suspect nothing. They'll never see me coming." Over and over again.
And so while he's there, they go to the Grand Canyon, which is also in Jersey, and he. Which is a real scenery change from the lush forests of rural New Jersey.
Teddy Roosevelt is just destroying buffalo. He's just killing them. He's massacring buffalo.
Right. Yeah, the Grand Canyon's full of buffalo, and it's almost like, because this movie predates The Lion King, is this where the wildebeest stampede came from? Because
I think it might have. Yeah. It was very similar shots, yeah.
There's that sequence where like a beautiful tourist woman is stuck like Mufasa in the canyon, and Hercules has to rush to save her from the stampeding buffalo. Because they're all running because Teddy's just stepping on them.
He's a bit of a madman. I don't think he says a single thing. He just yells the entire time. And so Hercules, National Parks.
Hercules jumps from one side of the Grand Canyon's ledges onto Teddy Roosevelt's stone mustache, and somehow it bends and swings. I guess
he's got a huge mustache. He's a bit of a caricature of himself.
And he swings on it into the canyon, rescues the woman, and climbs out as these jumping, rampaging buffaloes are like trying to hit him. And afterwards, he brings her up, and she's like, well, first he has to beat the crap out. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great like punching in this movie. I really want to talk about the punching for a second, because just the sound of Hercules like Bane smashing marble with his goddamn fists is just a really satisfying, crunchy
great
noise.
Sound effects.
Yeah. Fantastic biff bam boom. Just like bam. And that's like 40% of this 5-hour epic.
They must have used so much chalk in this movie, just punching through
just
bricks of chalk.
I imagine that's a good thing to know.
Unless it was actually stone. You don't know if he's actually Hercules. It could be.
He could be these big inflated. And we gotta say that, like, because of the size differential and the lack of computer animation in this movie, it's a lot of like what seems to be like either early blue screen or just on set. Like, they'll have a big practical, I don't know, stone or what do they use? Foam, I guess, in situations.
I thought foam, and I thought like with some of the close-ups of punching, it looked like they used like brittle chalk material.
Oh yeah, to make it, because it does dust off when he strikes it to make it bend and break.
But I don't know what. Maybe it's like a mixture of. Maybe it's like paper mache mixture. Who knows?
Oh, that would make sense too. So you could make like real holes in it, because that's sort of what happens. Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's usually like Hercules along with like. Hercules like measures up to about like the ankle of most of these guys, right?
They're huge.
So it's like you're not seeing a whole president in a shot. It's like it's framed in such a way that these guys are probably not even. Well, they're definitely not even.
Well, I think for a lot of the shots they use like miniatures, like in Star Wars, where they use like toys basically,
and then they just like splice the shots together with like. Right, which explains all the shots where he's not connecting, where it's like a big statue and he's just punching at it, and they make the sound effect, but there's no impact on the miniature until it just tips over. But anyway, he knocks Teddy's block off, and then he goes back to the woman, and he's like, he's like, "Are you all right? What am I saying? Of course you are. You've been saved by Hercules."
Yeah, he's such a he's such a narcissist, but it's like almost endearing.
He's a cheery narcissist.
Yeah.
He's a happy warrior.
Yeah.
And so he's constantly laughing at unfunny things he says too.
Yeah.
Why, that giant president almost squashed you like a water buffalo.
Yeah.
What
does that mean?
He's a
They
lot
were
like
just a regular
Calendar,
buffalo.
now that I'm thinking about it. He's pretty much the same as Calendar. They have basically the same voice.
Oh man, that's true.
Except Calendar isn't strong or useful.
Yeah, Calendar's got a lot of issues, and he would
Plus
run
he's
away
dead.
from it. He would like reschedule a fight if you tried to schedule one.
Yeah, I would like to fight you, but let's see if we can pencil that in for next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
He would just
say.
avoid it for the rest of time.
But yeah, she's like, I wish there was some way I can repay you for saving me.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to the most hardcore sex in the dirtiest motel. I'm like, how did they even do? I thought this was like a
It's the 70s,
PG
man.
movie.
It's that
Like-
70s. It's like the 70s nudity are so graphic and so over the top. It is basically pornography. I don't know.
But it's also not the same actress. It's as if she didn't want to do it, and so they just put a wig on like a prostitute or a porn
Yeah, but you're not.
actor.
I mean, like, who's gonna notice that when it's that graphic? You're like, Jesus Christ.
with Hercules' rippling pectoral muscles, I couldn't focus on anything. Those things were.
He's a strong man.
Yeah, I keep bringing up Kratos, but yeah, it's pretty much the same body structure. He's a ripped dude. I wonder where this actor is from. If he was a bodybuilder like Arnold, or if he was just
Arnold.
a naturally swole actor or something.
Let me look on my phone here.
Sure, got that cricket wireless connection.
Well, I just connect to Wi-Fi. I just connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
I'm getting on there.
His name is Guido Gonzalez. What?
So he's Italian and Mexican at the same
Mex-
time,
he's,
I guess.
He's a mashup. He's a bit of a mashup.
But
His
looks-
mom was Italian. His dad is Spanish.
And then
Pandemonium.
Like the ancient Greek box that gets opened and all the creatures come out. Gotcha.
No, like the Panama Canal. I think. I don't know.
Oh, which Teddy Roosevelt built with his mighty squashing powers. I gotcha.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, Guido Gonzalez.
Look, I know history.
stupid name.
I know history pretty good.
I know. We both know history. We saw this movie. Now we know history.
So this film sort of wraps up with he beats up a lot of these presidents, and he doesn't destroy them completely. He just punches them so they fly backwards into the.
Well, there are a lot of there's a lot of presidents that I don't know anything about, and so does the creator of this movie. They know nothing about some of these.
Well,
presidents.
I did like that. There's this really weak wussy statue of William Henry Harrison, and Hercules just punches it once, and it flies off into the sun and disappears.
Oh no, my body.
Yeah, it has the voice of Droopy the dog.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Ooh, he's gonna go again.
And who was Garfield? He was just the fattest piece of shit. That was
Well, yeah, they make Garfield just the cat. It was really weird. It's just a big stone statue of the cat. I don't know how they got licensing rights for that.
It was the 70s. It was fucking whatever his name was. John, what's his name? John,
Scott Adams of Dilbert.
Scott
That's
Adams.
who you're thinking.
Scott Adams, creator of Garfield, was so much cocaine back then.
That explains this movie's right leanings, if you ask me. But yeah, it's sort of Hera realizes that this plan isn't working. It turns out that her scheme is she's constantly like plotting and like talking to camera. Like she has like little like guardsmen, I guess like Spartans or something that are like around her, and she's constantly talking to them and being like, good, my secret plan is coming to fruition. Now you'll see that once the Americans see Hercules beating up their precious presidents, they'll realize he's no hero at all.
But it's like
but it only raises his acclaim because the people are able to, once they see that the presidents are destroying their cities, they recognize that these aren't the real presidents.
She thinks like the American people are stupid enough to be like, oh, he's killing our actual presidents and not noticing that they're giant stone golems. Like, she's underestimating.
In the 70s, they were not, but today they would be. This would not go over well.
That's true. It could work now. Her plan could work now.
Her plan would easily work now, given our current media infrastructure.
Look at this guy killing the presidents. I don't remember him being a stone golem that was 90 feet high.
Do you think these Greek immigrants can just come over here and kill our most precious resource, the presidents?
Just with the shittiest Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, that's who I was imagining. That was exactly who I was imagining as Tucker.
Is this really what you want?
Is this really what you want?
You're smart.
And also, has Hercules been teaching critical race theory as he goes about? I don't know. But he might have
Is a man named Guido Gonzalez really who we want to be embodying
punching our presidents? And the only president I would like to see punched is Barack Obama for what he did to this country. And there's no racial component to that whatsoever, despite there being one. Okay?
Yeah. Think about... God, I hate him so much. I don't know how you listen to somebody that condescending for hours at a time.
I don't know either. I don't know how he's still a thing, but he got destroyed so hard by Jon Stewart like 20 years ago at this point, and even so, he's still going. He's like the most popular dude in the world. But anyway, Hera realizes her plan isn't working, and so she decides that she's going to take the entire mountain of presidents and turn it into a titan, like a rock titan.
Pretty cool.
And so she appears on the rock titan's shoulder and is whispering in its ear and is telling it to kill Hercules. And so Lincoln and Reagan, who now has the newfound courage thanks to Nancy's encouragement, they all team up with Hercules to fight back against this titan, and then it's two kaiju versus one mega kaiju and Hercules, and they just beat the fucking snot out of him. And Herc grabs Hera by the hair at one point, which was pretty crazy. I couldn't tell if that was her real hair or he's gonna rip her wig off.
It seemed like if it was a wig, it was very well attached because he grabbed it hard.
Well, okay, this is the part that was really confusing to me. So Hercules grabs her by the hair and he swings her around like what do you call those things in the Olympics that you swing around? Right. But what's shot put? Right. And I'm imagining like a ball and chain or a chain chomp from Mario. I know what you're talking about.
That was, I think, I don't know what that's called. But
what's the Olympic event when Sonic and Mario are at the Olympic Games where you spin the shot put around and it's a chain chomp and then it hits the crowd and a bunch of toads go, oh no! That one. So he's swinging Hera around and he throws her into Mount Rushmore along with the other presidents, and then her giant stone face, like frozen in agony, appears on the mountain. I'm not sure what the magic behind that is.
Well, I think he did it so hard that it stopped her, like the curse reversed onto her or something. I don't know. That was my interpretation of it, because it's like, I don't know. People started clapping. They're like, "Oh, great! We have a new monument to Hercules destroying." It was weird. I don't know.
And then he's like, "Perhaps I should carve the word bitch above her," and they all laugh.
But then he does. Then he carves the word bitch.
Yeah, then he does it.
Yeah.
And then he's like hanging off her nose. He's like, "You're not too bad looking, stepmom." And then he starts kissing the stone monument,
the statue, the mountain.
And then he starts laughing at himself. And then they cut back to the crowd being like, "Is he trying to have sex with his stepmom's statue's nostrils? What's fucking happening right now?"
Yeah, it's so long.
And then it pans up into the heavens, and it's just a superimposed face of Hercules winking at the camera.
It's a very strange ending.
And then a choir goes, "The mighty Hercules." Dun, dun.
Yeah, and they do that thing where they pan over just the last shot instead of cutting to black. I love those movies.
Yeah, then they do over the credits. They show you what each president was doing afterwards, and it's like, Lincoln worked.
Well, it's like what a yakety sax starts playing instead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln worked to smooth out racial relations throughout America, and George Washington worked to do the opposite.
Yeah, and it was all 40. I think there's 40 presidents at this point. Actually, I don't know. Whatever Reagan was, they did all of them.
See.
They did all of them. It took 30
Bush
minutes to
after
get
Reagan,
through that montage.
and then Clinton, then Obama, then Clinton, then Bush again, then Obama. So yeah, it was like 47th, I think, 46.
Yeah, there's 72 presidents.
Right. So yeah, that's Hercules versus Mount Rushmore. So what did you think? How many presidents on a mountain would you give it out of 10?
How many presidents I think there are, or how many presidents there actually are?
Whichever. They're both the same.
I give it 2,900 presidents.
Wow!
Yeah.
That's a whole Mount Olympus of
I mean,
presidents.
this movie was, 5 hours long? And it flew by. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Well, that's because we beamed it into our heads with the goggles.
Oh,
They
yeah.
all fly
Yeah,
by.
all right. Yeah, I wouldn't watch this movie. Actually, I would sit for 5 hours. That's true.
You know, I have a thing for when giant, bulky dudes
Come to life.
No, I'm talking about Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
I have a thing for when burly dudes pick up random wenches at taverns. I go to bars and just watch that happen left and right. So and then I follow them home with my telescope. And well, it's not important what I do.
What do you do? You follow people home?
It's not important. What's important is that this movie is a perfect 10 out of 10, just like those Nebraska barmaids. And let's go put some slutty clothes on that hologram, my friend.
It seems like you glossed over a part where you follow people who are hooking up home in order to.
Well, it doesn't matter
them.
what I do or don't record. What matters is that's it for us here at Bunker Brothers. And let's go back and solve another
very
mystery.
dark thing that you brought up. So.
Oh, God. The allergies in this dimension are killing me. I feel like I'm going to blow my nose off.
We're going to talk about this. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, that's us for us here at which
That's
podcast?
us for us here at Bunker Brothers. See you next time.
That's the end of the show of Bunker Brothers. So it's weird when shows just end mid-season without explanation. Anyway, that's all for Made Up Movies bonus features. If you have a made up movie, it doesn't matter because this is bonus features and we don't take your shitty suggestions. All right, listen, go to hell and thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate it. It means the world. Love you all, and or solo person, however many people are subscribed at this point. I don't have an ending. Let's get the hell out.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
No, go to Hades, Hercules style. Okay, bye.